This Late Night Linux Family podcast is made possible by our patrons. Go to latenightlinux.com/support for details of how you can join them. Support us on Patreon for access to ad-free episodes and early releases. That's latenightlinux.com/support.
Hybrid Cloud Show, episode 46. I'm Aaron.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Shane.
Welcome to the show about public cloud, private cloud, and everything in between. Our views here are ours and not those of our employers. This time's going to be a short episode to give Joe a break over the Christmas holidays. We also don't have Gary, which you may have noticed. He's a little bit under the weather. So today what we're going to talk about is what we like most about using the cloud or cloud-native technologies. Can someone start me out with something interesting?
I'm going to say just the raw compute power any idiot can access very easily and cheaply. I mean, at the end of the month, your bill will be astronomical, but just the ability for me to write a for loop and just spin up stupid amounts of compute is just kind of insane and awesome and hilarious at the same time. And terrifying. Mostly terrifying. But that is why I love the cloud in general and why I find cloud compute really fun.
That's more scary than anything, man. I don't know. I just shouldn't have that kind of power. For me, what I like most about cloud-native technologies is how portable they are and how they can be applied to a lot of different facets. For example, you've probably heard me talk about bootc or bootable containers and how we took the OCI formats and then made it available to make an operating system with. And that allows me to take the same technologies that I used for my applications and apply them to my operating system. So tools like SIFT or GRIPE or SBOM generators or vulnerability scanners or whatever you want to do can all be applied to my operating system with the same tools, the same technologies, and the same skills that everyone else already has. And I think that's a whole entire new world that everyone should embrace.
It's interesting. Mine's actually quite similar in a way. I think that what I like most about the cloud is how it's made everybody rethink all of the technologies and ways of doing infrastructure that came before. And so as we've all looked at things like containers and securing the infrastructure in the public clouds and the way that we look at things like infrastructure as code and the ways that we are describing what we're trying to do almost a little bit more conceptually, I've started to see those same kind of concepts drift back into the private cloud and in the way that people are operating fleets of machines in private cloud infrastructure. And I think that's a really nice piece that we've seen so much new thinking around stuff that's been in the industry for such a long time, and yet we're able to benefit the whole legacy of all of that with some of the new stuff that we're getting from the public cloud side.
And usually the lag between when something starts off and then when it enters like the private cloud is usually getting faster and faster. There's no longer this long lag between services. I think that's a good point, Aaron.
Yeah, I think we've also had a lot of people. So it used to be confined to the new kids on the block, or the new people who are getting into that industry. And I guess that's just become more mature, and there's a larger proportion of people who are cloud native or cloud first and are looking back at the VMs that the previous employees set up, or even the bare metal that goes before that, and saying, look, I'm so used to this new way and these new patterns and this new way of thinking. How can I use those same things to manage that whole legacy estate that I've got to keep on rails for the next, 5 years, 10 years until I decommit?
Changing your mindset is like a big piece of that. Like you said, we've definitely gone now towards the standard being cattle, not pets. And that applies even to our normal computers that we use every day. The Steam Deck is image-based. That's a whole entire thing they're shipping and prepping using CI/CD and then shipping that out. That's a whole entire mindset of I no longer have to carefully curate my gaming system. And like you said, I think that's a wonderful thing that we've brought, and I hope it continues.
So I do actually have a less evil genius answer of all the compute, which is for me, infrastructure as code. Being able to vend infrastructure through code has been a game changer for me. My background is software engineering, and particularly when CDK was introduced, I've engineered systems where you didn't even need to know about the underlying infrastructure. You didn't have to vend anything. It was you would write code, and the infrastructure was so tightly coupled with the implementation that there was no infrastructure. It was our application needed to send messages, so you just configure the application to send messages. That happened in the background later on, set up a load of topics in AWS SNS and SQS and did all this without engineers actually having to need to know about it. And you could, in theory, as a group of software engineers, build an application, tightly couple it to the cloud, and it's all running in code, and you didn't really need any skill sets beyond that. So like that's an extreme example, but just being able to like write code, commit it, and that represents your estate is just like really a game changer for me. And I'm really glad that has stuck.
I'm glad it stuck, but man, I tell you what, when my juniors go in and start messing stuff in the console, it's like slap their hands. No, don't do that. Go write an MR.
Yeah, you need a single source of truth. Otherwise, there is just, IAC doesn't mean anything at that point. Then.
Yeah.
It's just an artifact that once was true.
Yeah, but good luck telling people, hey, write code instead of click a button. That's been a fight, but I'm winning so far, so let's hope it keeps up.
Well, we said this was going to be a short episode, so let's wrap it up here and leave Joe to his Christmas, and we'll leave you to your wrapping. Have a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas from all of us here. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Until then, I've been Aaron.
I've been Sean.
And I've been Shane.
See you later.